democratic perspectives, news, interviews, and smart thinking for a better, freer America. Today's Democratic Perspective host, Chris Lunn, and his guest, Cindy Trigg.
When my stepkids were in school, I know that the music departments were severely cut back, and I believe this is probably in the late 90s here in Douglas County. So, I think that the arts are an important element, and I don't know, I'm not familiar with present day prioritizing, but do you guys have anything to do specifically with the curriculum, or is it a broader...
Every decision to make a cut comes through us.
But what about to expand the program or...
I don't know if there would be an expansion on any program in the near future. There will continue to be professional development. And what's going to happen is the school district is going to have to work with the community. We're going to have to work collaboratively with small businesses and with large businesses to see where we can have funding. We have donations. We're going to look at a different way and have to just lean on legislation at the next session to make sure that we find a stable and dependable way to fund education in Nevada. It's no longer a choice, it's a necessity. And we can't take these kind of hits because it takes us years and years to catch up with the way we move backward. So you have to have vision. And in that vision, you have to know what you have to pare down, but to keep that vision intact. You have to have an effective communication relationship with your administrators, with your other fellow board members, the cabinet of the district office. In addition to that, you have to have that effective communication with your community members, parents, PTOs, that's former PTAs. And then you have to work collaboratively with all those groups so that you can engage in a more aggressive fundraising.
Cindy, you are a wealth of information. Gee.
Well,
what do you have to say about the fact that so many kids in high school are not graduating?
The numbers that came out from the State Department, the numbers that came out from the State Department were largely Clark County. Douglas County does have a much higher rate than Clark County and Washoe County. So those numbers,
rate of graduation. Oh.
We do have a much higher rate of graduation. And the problem is, my personal opinion about the graduation rate goes back to that critical content and to student achievement, where you reach those children at a young age, because once they get lost and once they get set behind, it's so much more difficult to catch up in junior high school and in high school. We have to involve more career and technical education. We have a lot of brilliant students that don't graduate because they get bored and then they get in trouble. Right. So the thing that we need to do is we need to be innovative to catch those students' attention. We can't leave any child left behind, and the No Child Left Behind, I believe, have left a lot of our smarter kids flailing because they are bored, and perhaps they're more hands-on learners rather than taking a test. And I think we have to be innovative, and we have to work collaboratively with our teachers and say, okay, come up with a concept that you can bring to us, and we can say, okay, this is one way we can keep a particular group of students involved. We need to have more, we have to pay more attention to alternative education, which we have been doing. This has been one of the alternative ed, and credit recovery has been something that the board has been paying close attention to and putting our resources in, and we're going to continue to put the resources that are very limited into alternative education. That's something that the board all agrees on. So when it comes to making it not easier for our students to graduate, but making it a more profound effect, high school, a more profound effect in their life, and keeping them engaged is something that we're all dedicated to doing. And I say catch it early, teach them early, let them catch up early, and then I say engage their interest with innovative plans in school, innovative programs in school, including career and technical, not just the college bound. We all strive for our children to go to college. Well, some of them aren't going to do that. There has to be career and technical, and there should not be anything wrong with taking that view.
Well,
It
there's
should be a proper view.
Pretty good
as
wages
well
to
as-
be made out there.
Exactly. And if we have, if we can get our renewable energy programs going in Nevada, there will be a lot of green jobs for our students.
Collaboration throughout the state between the school boards, is that something that
Yes.
where you guys can come together with common ideas, especially when approaching the legislature, so that the legislature realizes that the issues are universal to the state rather than just Douglas County complaining or Clark County complaining?
We have that organization. It's called the Nevada Association of School Boards, and I happen to be the appointed person for Douglas. And we have a conference in mid-November, and we meet regularly, and we have our own board meeting as far as that goes.
So you lobby
we lobby, yes,
legislature.
absolutely. And
Is there a designated group that does the face-to-face lobbying, or how does
yes,
that work?
there is, and it is the Nevada Association of School Boards, Association of School Board. That is what lobbies directly with Dottie Merrill, who is the director of that organization. Also, we have the INVEST program, which is 17 counties that have come together, the 17 superintendents who have prioritized what is the most important for our students. And we go in mass. We come together and we prioritize these, and we say this is what we need the money for. And that's how pre-kindergarten was, or all-day kindergarten was funded before the funds disappeared. That's how empowerment was funded before the funds disappeared. So there is a collaborative working group with all 17 counties in the state.
So then the governor is obviously aware that there is a unity amongst all the school boards relative to certain issues that everybody shares.
Absolutely.
So how does the governor set the budget? I mean, how do you influence the governor is what I guess I'm asking.
You go to your legislature. You go and you're there in your face and you get ready to testify when necessary. And you go there and you say, I was elected by my constituents and I'm here to hold your feet to the fire. We need to fund education. Right now we have a very complicated form of funding from the state for the district. It's called the DSA. But that is money per child. And it's a complex way of funding. But here's one of the things that we've been trying to target, we've been trying to look at for many years, and that we want the legislators to look at. It's called the truth in taxation. Because on your tax bill, you're taxed for education. However, if there is more money brought in to the general fund, but it's designated as education funds, and the per pupil, the per child amount for all the students in Nevada comes up less than the money that was collected, it doesn't go to the school districts for a rainy day. It doesn't go to the school districts to use to enhance anything. It goes back into the general fund. So if the DSA says that you're going to get X amount of dollars for a student, but the state has taken in X plus 1, we don't get the plus 1.
You mean X plus 1 specifically for
education on your tax bill where it says education. Yes. Yes, it goes into the general fund.
Gee, that seems
it
like
doesn't
they're
come,
skimming.
They take, and that's we want transparency in funding of education.
Who's blocking that move toward transparency? I mean, is it a specific
I don't think anybody's blocking the move towards transparency. I think it's just the Nevadans for Quality Education, the superintendents, board members. We just need to bring that fact out because it's always been, we've never had this massive of a cut before. So now it's real. Well, it's happened in the past, but we have to even be more engaged so it will not happen again. When we bring in tax dollars for education, it needs to go to education. And if we have an overage, we should be able to keep that overage, make money on that money, and continue to fund schools in the necessity and enhance programs that we need when there's a downturn in the economy.
Sounds like the lobbyists have a real potential campaign to run.
Democratic Perspectives is presented by the Democrats of Douglas County, Nevada, promoting sensible government for today and tomorrow.